One of the most common inquiries I get in my DMs is same gender loving people asking me, am I going to go to hell for being gay? So I want to get y'all thoughts on this one.
So what's it like being a gay Christian man?
It can be hard. It's like this wrestling. I've lived a double life before. Go to church on Sundays, go to community group on Tuesdays, and then all the other days of the week I was hooking up, I was out at the clubs, the bars. It was, just this high.
What were you trying to fill?
There's a lot. That void of never feeling like I'm good enough. Even the littlest thing that was said to you when you're 10, to feel that void, it was knowing that I was wanted, at least by a man.
And where are you at now with everything?
I still find men attractive. I'm still not attracted to women, but I'm not gonna go pursue a guy.
But how does it feel to know you're not expressing a part of yourself?
I mean, it's still hard at times, but do I want to do it? No, not anymore, because I've seen how much more I am at peace with my mind and just myself. That's all I need, because
You believe that.
yeah, it's hard at times.
You're choosing God over sex.
Yeah. I tell people the only man I'm interested in now is God, that, or Jesus. That's the only desire that I'm trying to pursue.
The thing to be delivered from is the theology that demonizes your basic humanity.
Exactly.
That is the thing to be delivered from. Be delivered from the theology that tells you your natural desires are an abomination. Because if you ingest that, everything else is going to be screwed up. You have to undo the belief that who you are as a person is a bad thing, because you'll spend your life running from yourself, thinking you're finding peace, but you're just going deeper and deeper into chaos and turmoil and self-loathing. We have to get away from this filthy rag theology that tells us we are nothing without God. We ain't gonna never be nothing unless Jesus comes to save us, that our natural desires are an abomination. That's the thing we got to get delivered from, because then if you've never known peace, you'll allow somebody else to frame what peace looks like for you. Because he said, I feel like I'm so much more at peace. You don't know peace. You were conditioned to believe that who you are at a basic core cellular human level is an abomination. Peace ain't even an option when you think like that.
Like watching somebody with Stockholm syndrome. That's how I felt watching him. Because it's like he's looking for this validation, and he wants somebody to validate who he is authentically. That's why you do what you do throughout the week, because that's who you are. But because what they authenticate is who they want him to be, he has tricked himself into saying, well, I'm going to be that because that's what they authenticate. And then you sit up and tell yourself and everybody that watch that lie that God is the only man for me. It's like I'm married to Jesus. No, you're not.
No,
don't do that to yourself. Like, you're torturing yourself. And I'm sure Pamela can speak more to this than me, but on a psychological level, what that's doing to him chemically is tearing him apart every dang all day. That's hell.
I didn't see peace. I didn't see fulfillment. I saw misery. I saw blankness. I saw disconnection. He looked so disconnected from himself. And all I could think to myself was, this is not sustainable. You can't do this forever. And when people get to the point where they come face to face with the place where they can no longer do it, this is the time where a lot of people check out. And this is why I always go back to why death dealing theology literally kills people. Because when you get to that place where you feel backed in a corner, like I got to make a decision between this, and then you take into account all of these other people that you don't want to disappoint and embarrass and shame because you've been told that's what being yourself will do, people just check out. And so I felt concerned for him, because I don't know how long he's been doing this. And I don't believe a word he says, and he doesn't believe a word he says. I think that he feels obligated to make the attempt, but he doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe it. And when you're told you can't question what you've been taught. You just spend all of your time questioning yourself, and that's a dangerous game.
I don't want him to do anything to himself. Like, that's the main thing. Like, I don't want him to start self-harming because he can't live what he actually needs, wants, and desires. And I looked at his eyes, at how empty they were. That's what struck me, is that his eyes, I heard what he said, but his eyes told everything I needed to know.
That's why you can't let other people frame peace for you. You have to take ownership of your own peace. And that's another reason why we build community. Because if you're only in community that reinforce your self-loathing, that reinforce your detachment from yourself,
Mhm.
it's very difficult to ever find yourself in those spaces because it's never being reinforced.
He looks stressed out, like he's constantly in a state of stress. I don't know if you guys remember that video of the little boy whose mom was gone or something like that. And the lady that was interviewing him on the news, she was like, "Do you miss your mommy?" And he was like, "No." And then he like covered his mouth and he like broke down crying. That's what he reminded me of. It just felt exhausting. I felt exhausted for him. I feel tired for him because I'm sure he spends a lot of time just running around trying to battle wanting to be loved here with choosing to be loved in eternity. But this is a